Marcus, if you were walking alone at night and you heard a strange scraping sound getting closer and closer behind you, would you turn around?
Absolutely not. If I can hear it getting closer, turning around just means I see whatever it is before it gets me. I'd rather not.
Welcome back to What If It's Real, where we take horror scenarios seriously and ask, what would you actually do? I'm Riley.
And I'm Marcus. Today, we're going international. We're leaving Hollywood horror behind and diving into one of Japan's most terrifying urban legends, Teke Teke.
If you've never heard of Teke Teke, first of all, I envy you. Second of all, buckle up, because this one is different from anything we've covered before.
No cursed tapes, no board games, no elaborate Rube Goldberg death traps. This is something much more primal.
So here's the legend. A young woman, some versions say a schoolgirl, falls onto a railway track and is hit by a train. The impact cuts her in half at the waist.
She doesn't die immediately, and in that moment of trauma and agony, her spirit becomes something else entirely.
She becomes Teke Teke, a vengeful ghost with no lower body who drags herself along the ground using her elbows and fingernails. And the name? That scraping, dragging sound she makes as she moves.
Teke, 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 teke. The sound of her coming for you.
And here's the terrifying part. She's fast, horrifically fast. Despite having no legs, she moves at the speed of a running person, maybe faster.
So if you hear the sound and you're thinking, oh, I'll just outrun whatever that is, you won't.
The legend varies by region and telling, but the most common version goes like this. Teke Teke appears at night, often near train stations or railway crossings. If she catches you, she cuts you in half with a scythe, or in some versions, just her bare hands, mirroring what happened to her.
She makes you like her. That's the horror of it. It's not just death, it's transformation into what she is.
Some versions add a specific rule. If you encounter her and she asks you a question, "Where are my legs?" you have to give the correct answer or she kills you instantly.
What's the correct answer?
Depends on the version. Some say you have to answer on the Mason Expressway. Others say in Hokkaido. The point is, if you don't know the right answer, you're done.
So it's a riddle wrapped in a ghost legend, folklore with a password.
Exactly, and that detail is really interesting because it suggests there is a way to survive an encounter, unlike, say, Samara, who just wants you dead no matter what.
Teke Teke has rules, which means she has loopholes.
This is our first revelation. Teke Teke is a legend with built-in survival mechanics. If you know the lore, you have a fighting chance, which is exactly why we're here.
Okay, so let's set the scenario. It's late. You've missed the last train. You're walking home alone near the railway tracks, and you hear it, a scraping rhythmic sound. Teke, 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 teke.
My heart rate went up recording that.
What do you do?
Okay, first instinct, run. Just run. You said she's fast. How fast are we talking?
In the legend, she matches or exceeds running speed. So pure sprinting might not save you, but it buys you time to think.
Time to think while being chased by a half-woman scythe ghost. Great. So running is option 1, but not a guarantee. What's option 2?
Elevation. She has no legs. She's dragging herself on her elbows. Can she climb?
The legend doesn't specifically address climbing, which is a really interesting gap in the mythology.
If she can't climb or climb slowly, getting off the ground might save you. Climb a fence, get on top of a car, find the fire escape.
But she's a ghost. Do physical obstacles even stop a ghost?
This is the tension with ghost legends. Some are bound by physical rules. They can't cross running water, they can't enter a home uninvited. Others are completely unbound. Teke Teke's limitations aren't clearly defined.
So we're gambling on whether ghost physics apply. Not ideal.
Which brings us to the most reliable strategy, the riddle.
Right. If she asks you where her legs are, you need to know the answer. And the problem is, there are multiple versions of the answer depending on which regional variation of the legend you're dealing with.
So what do you do? Memorize all of them?
That's actually not a bad strategy. If you know this legend, if you've done your homework, you have a list of possible answers ready. You try the most common one first.
Your legs are on the Meishin Expressway.
And if that doesn't work,
You try the next one, quickly.
this is our second revelation. Knowledge is your primary weapon against Teke Teke. Unlike most of the threats we've covered, she gives you an out, but only if you're prepared.
Which raises a really interesting philosophical point. This legend, like a lot of Japanese urban legends, functions as a transmission mechanism. You hear the story, you learn the rules, you're more equipped to survive.
So telling the story is actually a survival tool. Knowing the legend keeps you safe.
Or at least safer, which might be why these stories get passed down. It's not just entertainment, it's information.
That's genuinely beautiful and also very scary. Okay, let's say you've given the answer and she accepts it. She lets you go. Is it over?
In most versions, yes, she's satisfied, or at least bound by whatever rules govern her. She doesn't follow you home.
But in some versions, surviving the encounter isn't the end. There's a curse element, similar to the ring, where Teke Teke will come back for you later unless you pass the story on.
So you have to tell someone else. You have to spread the legend.
Which is, again, meta. The ghost is enforcing the transmission of her own story. She wants to be remembered.
That reframes the whole legend. She's not just a monster, she's a tragedy. A girl who died horribly and doesn't want to be forgotten.
Some versions of the story actually name her, Kashima Reiko, and the name itself becomes part of the legend. Kashima, in some interpretations, connects to legs in Japanese. The etymology is built into her mythology.
So she's not random, she's specific. She has an identity, a name, a history.
Which makes her scarier, honestly. Anonymous monsters are terrifying, but a ghost who was once a person with a name and a story, and now she's this? That's a different kind of horror.
This is our third revelation. Teke Teke is a ghost of grief and identity. She's not evil in a simple sense. She's a spirit defined by how she died, and she wants you to know her name.
Okay, let's get practical again. You're near train tracks at night, and you have no idea if Teke Teke is real. But you're a listener of this podcast, so you believe in the what if it's real principle. What precautions do you take?
First, don't be alone near train tracks at night. That's ground zero for this legend. She's tied to the place of her death, and in many versions, railway crossings and stations are her domain.
So, practical rule 1, avoid her territory when possible, especially alone, especially at night.
Rule 2, know the legend before you need it. Learn the riddle, learn the answers. If you're traveling to Japan or you're just a cautious person, knowing Meishin Expressway costs you nothing. Not knowing it could cost you everything.
Rule 3, if you hear the Teke Teke sound, don't freeze. Movement is your best friend. Get to elevation, get to a populated area, get somewhere with light and people.
Ghosts, in most folklore, are less active around groups of people. She's a predator of the isolated.
Rule 4, if you're face to face with her and she speaks, stay calm, answer confidently. Hesitation might be interpreted as not knowing the answer.
Fake her till you make it, but with a ghost.
And rule 5, if you survive the encounter, tell the story, pass it on. Whether or not you believe in the curse element, spreading the legend might be the respectful thing to do for a spirit who just wants to be remembered.
That's almost poetic.
Urban legends usually are underneath the horror.
Okay, let's do the full recap. The official Teke Teke survival guide.
Step 1, avoid being alone near railway tracks at night. Don't enter her territory without reason.
Step 2, know the legend before you encounter it. Memorize the riddle answers. Meishin Expressway, Hokkaido. Cover your bases.
Step 3, if you hear the Teke Teke sound, don't freeze. Run first, but aim for elevation or a populated area rather than just sprinting blindly.
Step 4, if confronted and she asks where her legs are, answer clearly and confidently with the regional answer. If one doesn't work, try another. Don't panic.
Step 5, survive the encounter and then pass the story on. Tell a friend, tell a podcast audience. However the curse version of the legend works, you've done your part.
The real takeaway, Teke Teke is a legend about grief, identity, and the power of knowing someone's story. She's terrifying, but she's also, in some way, asking to be understood.
Which doesn't make her less dangerous, but it makes the horror mean something.
That's it for this episode of What If It's Real. Next time, we're asking, what if you picked up a hitchhiker on a dark road and they vanished from your back seat before you reached their destination?
We're diving into the Vanishing Hitchhiker, one of the oldest and most widespread urban legends in the world. Every country has a version, every version is unsettling.
We'll ask, what do you do when you realize your passenger was never really there? And what does it mean if they left something behind?
Stay curious, stay cautious, and maybe don't pick up strangers on empty roads at night.
See you next time.